Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. My name is Juan Lopez. I'm with Media Arts Center San Diego. We are actually presenting today a video in collaboration with the UCSD Childhood Obesity Initiative, um, which produced co-produced this video, which is in on a series that has been done to promote healthy eating here in City Heights and a well-being. Today's story is on UPAC's Neighborhood Cafe, which is a neighborhood cafe that is actually run by youth here in City Heights. Um, and through when the COVID started, they organized themselves and started making a hot meal distribution for community members, and also a distribution of of, of produce. So really quickly, we're gonna show you a video that tells a little bit of their story, and then afterwards, we're gonna be bringing in some of the folks that run this program and let us tell us a little more about their story and the program itself. Okay, I'm gonna remove myself off screen really quickly and bring the video on.
We are the Neighborhood Cafe. We highlight all the different diverse foods of City Heights. We opened this place really because there was a lack of opportunities for these kids to get trained and get real employment. But the critical features were able to highlight the diversity of the community they came from, City Heights. We want to be a hub that the community could be proud of, could be a part of, be comfortable with. But COVID hit. And it was already tough enough for this community, which is disproportionately hit because a lot of our residents were already experienced a lot of challenges and barriers prior.
Sorry about a little technical difficulties. Let me bring it back on. Second. Okay, let's try it again. Take two.
We are the Neighborhood Cafe. We highlight all the different diverse foods of City Heights. We opened this place really because there was a lack of opportunities for these kids to get trained and get real employment. But the critical features were able to highlight the diversity of the community they came from, City Heights. We want to be a hub that the community could be proud of, could be a part of, be comfortable with. But COVID hit. And it was already tough enough for this community, which is disproportionately hit because a lot of our residents were already experienced a lot of challenges and barriers prior to COVID. So we switched gears. We converted operations to be able to do mass food distribution. We linked up with Feeding America and also San Diego Food Bank, and we're able to provide roughly 6,000 pounds of food every week for our community members.
With the distribution, we also provide a hot meal. And what's really unique is that the food is always different. The chef always comes up with different ideas on how different cultures can be seen through the hot meals. There's always fresh greens in it, proteins, and it's a whole meal for a whole family to be able to eat. We don't know what the families are going through. We don't know their financial situation or if they can provide fresh produce for their family. So with this distribution, I think that providing a healthy alternative for the families, like fresh produce, vegetables and fruits, is really important and gives them the access to eat healthy and fresh.
2020 obviously been very challenging, but there's a lot of positives that have come out about it too. And one of the things I'm most proud about is our youth. They're all from this neighborhood. They all came to this place, very unassuming youth, but still wanting to be a part of something, getting training and employment. But what I'm proud to see is them develop into real community leaders. We get them involved in a lot of the operations. A lot of the operations that you saw today in film came from their desire to help their community. They do what they can to improve all their services. So to see them develop, to know that they no longer are bystanders, they're actually right at the forefront of being a leadership, a support mechanism for the community, and then they feel that growth too. So they're building up that self-esteem to really be able to help their own community and families is something I'm really proud to see with these kids.
Thank you. We hope you enjoy a little bit of background of the story. Now we're going to be bringing in some of the members of the team from UPAC Neighborhood Cafe. They can talk to us a little bit more about their program. Hi, how's it going, everybody?
We're good, Juan. Nice to see you. Thanks for having us.
No, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And really quickly, why don't you all introduce yourselves to the audience?
Okay, I'll get started. My name is Dante Dawes. I'm a director with UPAC, Union of Pan-Asian Communities.
Hi, my name is Peaceful. I'm a facility lead at the Neighborhood Cafe.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chef Eddie. I'm the chef of the cafe.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, why don't we start out a little bit with why don't you tell the public what the Neighborhood Cafe is and its mission?
Yeah, I'll take the question. So yeah, Neighborhood Cafe is something we're very proud of. It's actually one component of something that's called the Neighborhood Enterprise Center. And the Neighborhood Enterprise Center is a center that we built essentially out of need. Where this all started is we, in another program, we respond to community violence throughout the county. And we also get to work with hundreds of great kids, mostly in City Heights and Southeast San Diego. Just empowering them, providing mentorship and guidance and positive activities. But one of the things that was really lacking was the ability to get employment and training. Peaceful was actually part of those groups from back then, and she's here now, and I'll let her talk about her side. But instead of us complaining about this lack of opportunity, UPAC's leadership decided, let's be part of the solution. That's really what got us started to kind of envision this. And then directly from the youth, like Peaceful, who's an adult now. However, back then when we were formulating this, she was a youth just like any of our youth in our group. So essentially what we want to do is create a community center where there's two kind of functions. One, we wanted to make sure that the youth have a place where they could thrive, where they could be comfortable, where they could be themselves. We work with a lot of refugee youth that sometimes don't have that kind of a space, and we wanted to purposely create a space like that. And then I go back to our program for the youth program I was talking about. We created that space, but it was a very small, humble space. We would pack about 30 or 40 people. Peaceful's been part of these groups in a very small room where we're talking about very empowering subjects. So that was kind of with the momentum also that thought, let's create a really large space where these kids could thrive. But more than just the kids, we want it to reflect the entire community of City Heights. So that's actually our secondary mission. Well, I don't want to say secondary mission, but that's actually an accompanying mission. Is one of the things we were very frustrated on is a lot of, I guess, negative concepts that people associate with the City Heights area. It's very disturbing to hear some of those stories, and I'm not going to act like that's not true, but it undermines the real value of this community, which is its diversity, its resiliency, its strength, its family values. So again, we opened this place instead of complaining about negatively. Well, let's be part of the solution on changing the way people should know City Heights. So we do exactly that. We focus on the diversity, and we reflect that directly in our menu. And Chef Eddie is right over here, over my shoulder. So over on our food, you could come in and get Korean food, Vietnamese, Ugandan, Somali, Filipino, Mexican. I'm missing some. We have Ethiopian food. I mean, we really make every conscious effort to learn directly from our community. And this is not Food Network TV. This is not culinary school stuff. We learn our dishes directly from our community, so that we could honor and value the flavor profile and the traditions with it. What we do here is we also train the youth in print shop. We're actually in our print shop right now, and give them all the tools to work, and then also open up their own business. We're not selfish. We'll teach you how to work here at the center, but we want you to get the tools to maybe launch your own thing. So there's an entrepreneurship program that we offer as well to give the kids the tools. There's a lot of these kids have the greatest ideas and business sense. They just maybe don't have that extra layer of support to really showcase to them. And again, I know I'm just kind of just talking aimlessly now. It's just that there's so many things that we do here that we're so proud of. But again, it's about uniting the City Heights community, valuing our youth, valuing the ideals, and promoting healthy lifestyles, including healthy eating. And I know that's partially what brought us to you. So that's it, kind of in a nutshell, what we have here.
Yeah, and I thought it was super interesting how I think you touch upon it on the video. You had this space and these students and kids who were already kind of getting depending on this employment, right? So instead of kind of like shutting down or lessening the hours, you turn that around to also help out the community. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about that process of deciding to do hot meal distributions and then the produce distribution during this time?
Yeah, you want me to? I'll pass that over to Eddie to kind of describe how that process works, how it benefits, and what we actually do.
Yeah, well, basically, just like you said, it would have been really easy for us to just shut down like everyone else did and say, hey, let's just put a halt onto everything. But that's not who we are, and that's not what we built this place for. We didn't build this place to put a stop and take a back seat. Is to be leaders and to take the steering wheel and move ahead. And that's exactly what we did. We had all these problems and difficulties with COVID, but we didn't let it face us. We say when there's a problem, we saw a different solution, and that was through distribution. Food distribution, our director, Dante, he hopped on it real quick. There was actually initially a plan that we had in mind already in the back burner, but COVID gave us the chance to spear it and went straight for it, and we didn't waste time, which it was great experience. We had a little hiccups here and there, but we went right through it, and now I believe we feel very, very proficient with it. Like you said, with different partners, we get about 6,000 pounds of food, and that's a combination of both fresh produce and non-perishables. And again, we really want to emphasize on the fresh produce, because anyone, school lunches that give you all these frozen foods and all these canned stuff, but that's not going to get us very far on our health. And being healthy doesn't only mean our mind, it's also our bodies, and our bodies are hand in hand with our minds. And that's how these food, helping with food and fresh meals and fresh produce, ties to our community's state of mind, and cutting back with their whatever other problems they can have. They can have a clear head to solve their own problems. So we can't solve everybody's problems, but we can provide a nice, fresh, healthy, hot meal to them. That takes some of the stress off. So that's exactly what we want to do, and that's exactly what we did. And we're going to be starting again with our hot meal program, relaunching again. We did it for about, I believe, 9 to 10 months or something like that. The first round, which we didn't know we were going to be doing it for that long. I mean, no one really knew, but our minds like, let's try to do it as long as we can. And we were really blessed with lots of donors, lots of support from our community, local communities from a little further out. They really, really backed us up, saw what we were doing. They really enjoyed it. They really thought it was a great thing we were doing for our community. And they all backed us up. So the same thing with the youth. The youth got to learn so much. It's not just helping out the community, but if you look at it, and as far as how to operate a business on the distribution, it's a business. It's there's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts that an experience like that you don't get every day, and you can always grab that and to other ones, to like shipping and receiving companies and stuff like that. So a lot of that you can really branch out with the learnings of what we've done and what we're doing. So that's pretty much. I don't want to go on to it, but yeah, that's pretty
No,
much.
I mean, if I could add one more thing about the reason food distribution is, like you mentioned, Juan, a lot of the kids were relying on this place for employment. We're a catering place, we're a cafe, we have a print shop, and the whole world got impacted by COVID, and we did too. So we wanted to preserve all the employment. I mean, families are already hurting, and we don't want to tell our kids that work here, hey, sorry, I don't have a job for you, because because our sales are impacted. I mean, it's the truth, but by converting to food distribution, we're able to retain all their employment while we still struggled to maintain. We never closed our cafe or our catering. It's just obviously because of restrictions, it become very limited as far as how much we could actually sell. But because of our the philanthropic community and some grants from other organizations, we were able to really keep these youth employed. But moreover, the development of the youth. I mean, when you look at 2020, it's really easy to focus on the negative, of course. I mean, COVID has ravaged the entire world, and we're still feeling the effects, and it's something we'll never ever forget. On the flip side, there are some qualities that came out that are positive in a way. Not that COVID is positive, but some of the outcomes were these kids really going to the forefront as being leaders in their own community, being looked at as a mechanism to support the community versus just being in the community. And we saw that leadership develop in all of our kids. So that's something I can't deny that actually occurred over the last 12 months as well. So I just wanted to kind of touch up on that. We're really proud of the way these kids are. And from this experience, it's really kind of given them spirit to even move forward even further beyond this in a leadership capacity. So it's something that's it's good for us to witness.
No, yeah, definitely, and I think you had mentioned like you mentioned Peaceful here, who's with us. It kind of came up on this program, right? And I think when we shot the video, you had recently had gotten a lead position. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about your experience through this process, Peaceful?
Yeah, so I joined the program about like 6 years ago when I was freshman or sophomore in high school, and we had like this little meeting space where we would meet every week, and we just talk about our plans and our goals to help the community. And we came up with like a business idea where we start doing like printing and stuff, so that youth can start working and they can be hired. And then later on, we actually got a whole cafe where we hire local youth that works here. And my coming from a refugee background and coming to a new place, it's really hard to fit into like community spaces, and having a place where you can go and learn about like business and learn about things that that you need to know to live on a daily basis was really changing. And like the warmness and the welcomeness into the program was what kept me coming back to the program. And I can say that that's with a lot of youth also. And working here doesn't really feel like work, because we're working for the community. We're all of our youth goal is to make an impact in the community that has impacted them in some type of way. And through this Neighborhoods Cafe and through our distribution, I think our goal to help the community has come to like it's real. It's like our reality. We are making an impact in our community, and that's what really stood out to me, and that's what make me stay and keep working in this place and just further making like impacts in the community.
Awesome. Thank you. I had a question for the chef actually. Um, a lot of these. I mean, I've had a few meals already at the neighborhood cafe, and I think one of the nice things is a lot of it, all of them actually taste like they taste fresh. They don't. I don't feel heavy afterwards. Uh, even though they're like well packaged, like you get a bang for the buck at the River Cafe. And so I wanted to ask you about you mentioned that a lot of your recipes you get from the members themselves. So why don't you talk to us about the importance of having recipes like this kind of represent the cafe and its mission?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for coming and supporting us and having some lunch with us. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's the most important thing for us is to, like, I think Dante touch bases is to stay true to our community, stay true to their culture. Um, all of our recipe comes through the families. Actually, I believe it was my second day here years back. That was one of the first things I got put on my plate. Was like, hey, listen, it's gonna be one of our youths now. Actually, that works here. He wasn't at that time, and his mom are gonna come and they want to teach you a Ugandan dish. I'm like, oh, great, let's do it. I mean, that's how can as a chef not want to learn a traditional, very humbling, very humbling dish that they practice in straight from the source. I'm not looking it up from a book. There's millions of copies were made. We're not downloading it from Google. We're not doing it. What is it? TikTok and we give it straight from the source. And then before we streamline it, we make sure I grab it, I practice it, and I bring it back to them and say, hey, what do you think? Is this respecting your culture? Is this honoring what you would be serving in your home? And if they say yes, let's do it, then we keep it and we make sure we stay with that because that's what it's about. Like Dante and everyone said, is that diversity and making everyone feel in our neighborhood that hey, they come home, they come here, and they came home. They came to somebody's house, mom's house. They tasting that same seasonings, the same styles, as true as possible as we can get. And there's nothing better than that. That you can go. It's like comparing going to Taco Bell versus some TJ Spot's backyard.
You named a spot.
Where oops, sorry. You know what I mean. It's like we don't want to do that. We want to make sure we stay true to the food and true to the culture, and at the same time make it nice and light. It's make it as fresh as possible, and that's what it is. We don't want things just sitting there for 2-3 days. No, that's not the way we're gonna operate. It could be very easy to make a big quantity and just store it in the freezer and keep it, but that's not what we're about. That's not what we want to teach our kids to just make mass production, to actually care about the dish, to really put your heart and soul into what we serve in pride, and make sure all of our kids know that, hey, if you're not going to serve this to your mom, don't serve it to nobody. That's basically what we're about. We want to make sure we put in ourselves in that plate. And that means the presentation, the flavor profile, that is really what mom would have made, and fresh and healthy, as clean, well, as healthy as we can. Sometimes sodium gets a little kicked up, but that's okay. But yes, you're right. We try to stay away from a lot of grease. We try to stay away from a lot of the heavier stuff that we just don't really want in everyday eating. Sometimes we indulge ourselves a little bit, but that's exactly what we did. So
I
No,
can
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I can say something about that too. When we work, so I'm Korean. My ethnicity is Korean. It's like a ethnicity in Burma. Not a lot of people know about it. And when Dante asked us to make a dish from the Korean culture, we were really excited because we feel like Korean people are, when you say you're Korean, it's usually, oh, are you Korean? But not a lot of people know about Korean. So when we were able to incorporate like a Korean dish, in the cafe, a lot of our community members, Korean community members, were really happy. They were like, wow, that there's an actual Korean dish in this neighborhood's cafe, and they feel like they're a part of something in the community, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think that's what makes your place so unique. You have so many different cultures represented in your menu. You don't see that, I don't think, anywhere else in City Heights, or maybe even San Diego for that matter. And it's such a unique unique menu and space.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we keep it real. I mean, I come from the restaurant industry as well. I used to be a restaurant owner, and I don't know if there's any restaurant people listening. And I appreciate that. I saw some really kind comments coming in, so I really appreciate the comments. What I was going to say is, what was I going to say, guys?
I don't know.
I forgot. I ended up reading the comment one, so that's why.
Something that
They pop up for us.
And then I get distracted.
That is a comment. Okay. Well, something that I think probably Dante want to talk about also is that, and piggybacking on what you said, is that most businesses or cafes will be shooting themselves by trying to do so much.
That's what I was.
So many different cultures, so many different foods. Like, hey man, you stay in your lane. You eat Italian food, stay with Italian food. Start Mexican food, stay Mexican food. Filipino food, Filipino food. But we have the luxury to explore everything and change it around. We go with seasons. We don't stay, hey, always the same thing. Sometimes we have chicken adobo. Sometimes we have lemongrass chicken, like right now. Sometimes we have a Somali stew. So we switch things around, almost like a seasonal menu. So that makes us so unique and so different than everyone else, and that is our identity. So therefore, we're really not shooting ourselves in the foot by trying to. So.
Eddie and I share the same brainwaves. That's exactly what I was getting.
See, right here.
In the restaurant industry, usually you just have to stay in your lane, and that's always been kind of a rule in the food industry, because it's actually difficult to not have an identity, and then it gets confusing. Well, our identity is multicultural, so that's kind of our realm, and we do the best we can, and we encourage everybody out there to come. Even though our food distribution, we help a lot of our community. Well, we rely on business. I mean, we're a business, and we got impacted too. So while we're helping the community, we're also struggling ourselves. So we pay the kids, because we sell stuff. I'm not going to lie. We have a catering, we have our cafe, we have our Sunday brunch, which is, you got to try Sunday brunch, because that's probably the most offerings we have over the course of the week, is Sunday brunch from 10 to 2. And then we have a print shop, and we're sitting in this print shop right now. So if you have any printing needs, or obviously come by, we'd love to give you a tour. You don't just have to come here and order a menu item and then be on your way. We'd love to share with you all of our stories. We always have youth here, and we love kind of sharing. We're very proud of this place, and we'd love to kind of show you guys around, of course, and definitely just come visit us, and it's a warm vibe. I mean, Peaceful said it. It almost doesn't feel like work, because we enjoy. There's a good spirit here. We all get along, good chemistry. We're all in it for the same vision, so it really helps. And we have a lot of youth here at any given time, and it really is just kind of a nice, warm vibe.
It's a big family.
But I can't describe it. You just actually have to come in and check it out for yourselves.
And that goes for everybody. Not that to take away from it, but like anybody that walks through those doors, we try to give them a tour. We try to tell them, we try to show everyone what we're about. For everybody, it's a hangout spot. You can come and check it out, and especially the kids. This is their safe haven right here. They come in here, and like Peaceful said, she came in here, she kept coming back. We see that a lot with a lot of our youth, and they come here, and sometimes they come troubled or upset or down, and they, hey, can you talk for a minute? I'm like, yeah, sure, come on, let's go. And it's really weird. Like Dante said, we can't really just put it in one category, just like our menu. We're like all over. The kids come in here, they want to sit down and talk. Yeah, let's sit down and talk. Someone comes and say, hey, I need some help with my homework. Well, let's see what we can do. So we take a lot of pride.
We mentor quite a lot of kids.
A lot of the youth in here, and we had a school right next door to us. Now they're a little further, but they still come here and use our science center, which is our computer lab, and we just kind of do anything that we can do like you would do at home. You know, you cook for your family, you help them with their homework, you try to guide them, you try to mentor them. And that's basically what it is. It's a big public home for all of our youth in our community.
Yeah, in fact, peaceful. So we're talking about youth in general. They're always welcome to come in. Yeah. We have a computer lab. We actually do a formal training that we started too, and it's about 20 kids showed up. I mean, that's quite a lot of kids, and we're teaching them print shop. We're teaching them culinary. But another example of how this is just a place really for, our kids, and then our staff too, is Peaceful comes here with a crew of a lot of our kids that are in college, and they study here till like midnight, 2 or 3 times a week, just because it offers a nice study space. So it's just one example of kind of the openness that we have here as far as whatever we can do to support our youth and our community members.
No, yeah, and I think when we were actually shooting, I remember there was kids helping with the food distribution. There was kids helping with in the kitchen, order. So it really is. When they say it's a youth-led place, it really is. They're not. I didn't see there. Of course, you have a leadership team, but the kids are also kind of. I will see them take stuff upon themselves and in proactiveness. So I think that was really, really awesome to see and kind of see them in action. Everybody was kind of helping each other. They have their own language at this point. I guess where they understand each other's work routine. So it was just cool to see everybody in action.
Yeah, and that's one thing we always do is empower the youth. And me standing and representing, like, I guess, an adult figure in world of working with youth, there's just, and maybe people are going to hate on me for saying this, there's just too many adults that maybe think they know what the youth want without actually engaging with them and asking them. So we're always very mindful. Any decision we make, even when we were developing the center, the programs, we make sure that youth input is at the forefront. Before we do anything here. In fact, we always joke about it, but Peaceful actually is my boss, and she's actually Eddie's boss too, pretty much here.
True story.
But no, she runs this place well and represents it very well. But I'm glad you recognize that, because it's a very purposeful effort to make sure that the kids are elevated. They are a lot smarter than I think adults give them credit for, and we recognize that. So we don't push them in the back burner. We really challenge them and be able to allow them to kind of showcase their leadership and their ability to execute all of our operations here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I don't want to take any more of your time for today. And while I was watching, I check out the Neighborhood Cafe. They're awesome print shop. You can get a delicious meal and an awesome T-shirt or something while you're there. Do you have any final comments or anything you'd like to mention to the crowd?
I'll let you guys do final, and then I'll do one last comment as well. So, any last comments, please?
All right, I'll go. Well, thanks for joining us on this meet, and please stop by, check us out. Just for a cup of coffee, or if you want to have lunch, everything that you get contribute to this. It goes directly to our youth, whether it's giving them more hours, making sure they have more laptops, making sure we have equipment for them to succeed. It's just come and check us out. Our menu, especially on brunch, is really, really cool. The Moco Loco is like a really nice, big, fat, meaty patty. It's not like those little skinny ones. So yeah, come and check us out.
Thank you for listening. It's always great to share the history and what we do in this place. And thank you for everyone who continuing supporting us and just have hope in us. So thank you.
Yeah. And I'll wrap up on a couple things. One, we do food distribution every Friday. I guess we'll send you the information, or you can look it up Neighborhood Cafe. If there's any families in need of any food, just have them give us a call. We'll register them, and that takes place every Friday. And again, what they both said, please come visit us. That's how we thrive, is people coming in here to purchase food from our cafe, the print shop, and then also our catering. We talked a lot about our cultural menu, which we're very proud of, but this guy, Eddie, he's a baller. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's come from a long history of really amazing places for catering. So if you have any catering needs, Eddie for sure could hook it up however you want. Lastly, again, we hope you see you here. One thing that I wanted to be mindful of also is that we are a pork-free facility. So I know some people, they have to be very careful with where they have their food options. This is a pork-free facility. I would just want to throw that out there as well, because that's important information. But I hope to see you. I hope you learned a little bit about us. If you have been here, thank you so much, and we'd love to see you back. If you haven't been here before, we look forward to showing you around.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, I'll make sure if you have a chance, make your way down there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna throw something out there. I don't know if Dante's gonna get mad at me for this.
I won't.
But if you come and visit us and say, "Hey, I saw you in the Facebook Live," we'll give you a 10% discount or something like that.
Okay.
We'll give you a special treat. Come and see us. I don't know. I just thought of it right now. So I'm like, oh man, I should have ran this through him. But you know what? I'm gonna take the bullet on this one. Come and see us, and we'll hook you up with something special for that day, especially. Every time we'll hook you up, but this time we'll give you like some sort of discount.
There
Can
you
I
go.
put everything in there once? Sorry. Something. Well, I'll do the 10-second version. You know, this place is very important to us, so we purposely price pointed very low so that everybody could afford this place. So that's one thing I want to throw out there as well. So
That's true.
but you still get your 10% discount.
Yeah, you still get that.
Yeah.
Nowhere else can you go get a nice, really hot, fresh meal for $5 either. So
That's
Right.
true. No, yeah, super affordable, and like I said, you really do get the bang for your buck. I think we got like a sandwich and chips, and I don't know what else for like $5. Me and my colleague were like, "Wow, this is crazy. This nowhere else," and it was so good. So yeah, thank you again. So make sure if you want to take your friends to share this live stream with them, so they get also know about the 10% discount.
We appreciate that one. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah,
Thanks,
have a good day.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.